Hello and welcome to Moto Mouth. I'm Moshe Levy, and today we're going to be talking about motorcycle seats, specifically Bill Myers saddles. I first discovered Bill Myers saddles for an article I published in the March 2014 issue of BMW Owner's News called Flat-Footing a BMW on a Budget. Now the idea there was to change the ergonomics of my 2009 R1200 RT to allow me to flat-foot the bike without dropping $2,500 on new lowered suspension. It was a successful experiment, dropping the seat height from about 32.5 inches unladen to about 30.7 inches unladen, which made all the difference in the world at stoplights. But even an issue as important as seat height pales in comparison to the very subjective issue of overall seat comfort. After almost 20 years of riding, I've discovered two cardinal rules about motorcycle seats. The first one is that the OEM manufacturers, especially the Germans and the Americans, must have secret competitions to design the most sadistic torture devices ever used since the Marquis de Sade, and those devices are called stock seats. The abject misery of sitting on them for even a few hours is why the aftermarket saddle business continues to thrive. And the second rule I learned is that some premium aftermarket seat manufacturers have cult-like followings, the way some helmet manufacturers do. I mean, you've heard riders say, I have an awry head or I have a Schubert head. Well, when you test a bunch of seats on different bikes like I have, you realize that your butt has preferences too. And so far, of all the seats I've tried, BMS saddles are my favorite. Let's go to an overview and find out more. You might have heard me say in past reviews that as a general rule, a custom-tailored solution is always preferable to something standardized off the rack, especially if there isn't a big cost delta between the two. And here there isn't. We're all different in our shapes and weights, sizes and preferences, and real comfort is the product conforming to you instead of the other way around. This seat, which I tested for the August 2016 issue of Rider magazine, like all BMS seats, is not an off-the-rack solution. Ordering the Myers seat involves answering a myriad of questions about rider height, inseam weight, posture, typical miles ridden per day, seat height preferences, riding style, and more. Photographs of the motorcycle and traces of your bum's outline on the stock seat must also be provided to show typical positioning. And this information is all then utilized by BMS in selecting from 5 different foam densities and an assortment of shapes as the saddle is constructed to each rider's individual requirements by hand. I had a chance to watch Myers craftsmen construct some seats on the spot for customers at the BMW MOA's DAS Rally in Hamburg, New York this past July, and no two are alike. The seats are available in basic vinyl or genuine leather, and one can gauge the progressive density of the supportive Myers cushioning versus the squishy stock setup immediately upon inspection. Build quality is excellent, and all seams in the material are straight and true. There are other thoughtful touches on the BMS design too. For example, the padding material here on the pillion section is substantial, resulting in a nearly 5-inch high built-in backrest that supports my lower back on longer trips. Likewise, since BMS uses the stock seat pans, installation is as easy as removing and installing the stock seat, including connections for heat if applicable. Now, over the years, I've talked to other BMS riders on every motorcycle brand you can imagine. American, European, Japanese. They seem to be prevalent in the sport, touring, cruiser, and dual sport genres most of all. Actually, to this day, the most comfortable motorcycle seat I've ever experienced was an old, broken-in BMS on a mid-1990s Harley Road King. I almost offered to buy the bike just so I could have the seat. But once you've made the investment in this type of seat, you want it to last. And that brings me to the King of Fleece split weight cover, which I tested for BMW Owner's News in the June 2015 issue. Now this cover essentially completely waterproofs the seat and offers UV resistance to boot. Installation is easy, just pop the seat off, cover the seat with the split weight using the Velcro straps, and reinstall the seat. Some guys leave their covers on all the time. I use mine if I know I'm heading for some serious mileage in the rain or if I'm leaving the bike outside in a storm for a long time. It folds up very small when not in use, so it's totally portable. Also, if you have an old seat that's torn, you can just cover it with this thing and forget about being waterlogged ever again. So I'd consider the split weight to protect new seats, protect your investment, as well as to add useful life to older seats. Now on the road, compared to stock, sitting on this thing is sublime bliss. Even in a straight shot down from New Jersey to Florida, I felt nothing. The ergonomically disc shape continually hugs your butt, with plenty of snug lateral support and a refreshingly firm base. After about 2,000 miles, this seat breaks in, and after that, it's as though somebody made an exact mold of my rear, which I fit into perfectly on each ride. No more hot spots, no more sore points, no more squirming for relief, no more getting up and shaking around, no more sliding into the gas tank during braking, as with the stock seat. The overall feeling is one of sitting in the bike rather than sitting on it, ensuring that my favorite extended rides will no longer be constrained by the unnecessary agony caused by the stock seat, which should be banned under the 8th Amendment. So if you're suffering out there after a few hours on the road, just know that relief is possible. These BMS seats start at $599 and go up from there depending on materials, colors, and other options. So for functionality, I give them 5 out of 5 wheelies. For value, I give them 5 out of 5 wheelies. And for durability, I give them 4.5 out of 5 wheelies. The split weight cover starts at $99.95 as well. Until next time, keep the shiny side up, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more of your favorite Moto gear reviews.